the truth of it is do whatever it takes, whatever that challenge looks like for you. Everybody starts out in a different place. Everyone has a different set of challenges that they're going to have to work through, but make that promise to yourself that you'll do whatever it takes. Just keep pushing, because if you don't give up, you'll get there. Hey guys, welcome to Planet Wealth's podcast, Fortunes of the Brave. I'm your host, Lance Woodson, and to kick off the show, we're going to do something a little different. Rather than me interview a guest, I'm going to be interviewed by our producer, Magda Chocho, so you can get to know me and our mission at Planet Wealth.
All right, so let's get this show officially launched, pun intended. Give us the scoop from you, from your point of view. What is Planet Wealth, how it came to be, the mission, and what you're set out to accomplish?
Yeah, we're setting out to close the wealth gap. We're here to empower Main Street America with access to capital and access to high quality investment opportunities. We know that these are the two keys to closing the wealth gap and empowering people's financial dreams. And we're here to help them access those.
As an entrepreneur myself, my ears perked up just hearing what Planet Wealth is all about, and when we originally met, and just getting to learn from you and just your expertise as well. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs tuning in right now, and they're looking to put together some capital, and either they're in a business that's already out there and they're looking to grow on that, or maybe they're starting a brand new business and they need capital. What are some challenges that you feel entrepreneurs run into that you guys can really help them out with?
Sure. Most importantly, people don't realize that I think the biggest challenge is really knowing what's possible and then being able to know how to access that, right? So, for example, people today aren't taught, and they wouldn't know that they can access capital and they can participate in the economy. And the reason they don't know that is they've always been told that you can't participate in capitalism without capital, right? And the truth is, it wasn't possible up until recently. But three things have come together to make this a reality for Main Street individuals, for everyday people just like you and me. And it's really the Jobs Act changed the laws, and change of laws. It's now possible to raise money for your own business. This just wasn't legal to be able to advertise your own offering before as a business owner or an entrepreneur. You take that and the power of social media and the power of network effect, and people in their cell phone and their social accounts, and getting a friend or family member or someone that knows them to share what they're doing. The average person can access 2,000 individuals now directly from their phone. And you take that network effect and you leverage it with the power of our platform, and to be able to guide someone through the process of raising money and being able to create their own offering, and to be able to do it in a way that empowers themselves and those around them. You put those together, and now people can participate, and you don't have to be born in a wealthy family or have gone to an Ivy League school with a job in finance and be an elite to participate. It's now possible for anybody, and that's what we are looking to really change and make a difference doing, is to empower everyday people.
Yeah, something when we were talking last time about this, historically, right? The only path or access previously to capital was from Wall Street. So this is really like knocking down that whole barrier.
100%. The traditional path, and honestly, the traditional Wall Street model, they don't even know that this is possible. I talk to people all the time that are in the more traditional finance typical mindset, and they don't realize the change in laws, and they certainly don't understand what people are now able to do. More importantly, what they're able to do for themselves and the micro community around them. And you put all this together, it's truly a new opportunity that's never existed before. It's a opportunity for everyday individuals. And more importantly, it's an opportunity for someone to be a leader in their micro community, to step up and say, I'll organize this project and let's win together. And that's what we're here to empower, and ultimately why I'm here.
Right, that networking side is huge, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But if someone's like ready to roll up their sleeves and launch their business, and they're thinking, okay, well, give me some strategies. Like, what can I actually do to gain access to capital? Like, I need to know the steps that takes or the strategies behind it. And how has it evolved over time? Like, what would somebody actually do to get that capital?
Sure. First off, being able to do it legally and compliantly, it has always been a hurdle because typically you've got to have a securities attorney and you're going to meet and you're going to put together your documents. And then at the end, just because you can do an offering and raise money doesn't mean you're able to do it successfully, right? So what we do is we walk people through the process of raising money, not just getting their documents together and not just putting together their campaign page with their investor facing invest now button to actually walk the investors through the process, but we provide them with a business website. We provide them with the tools and resources and the education of how the process works and the education of how various asset classes work so that they can not just raise money, but put it to work in an asset class that will help protect that investor capital and prioritize the investor return in a manner that, for example, if you're putting money to work in real estate, chances are 5 years from now, if you buy a house on Main Street, well, guess what? That house is still going to be sitting there, right? In the typical entrepreneurial journey, you get started, you put together some cash, you're short on money, but you have enough to take your shot, and then over time, naturally the business runs out of cash whenever the money dries up as you're learning how to execute that business model, right? That's so in return, we're here to empower people to put money to work in assets. And we do that by giving them the education and guiding them along that journey and along that path to getting all the investor money going to work for the purchase or improvement of an asset that can then throw off cash flow and that everybody can benefit together as the asset appreciates. So beyond the normal education and the things that they need to do the offering, we're providing them with a business website so that they're able to stand up professionally in their warm market, the people that they already know, the people that already trust them. We provide them marketing resources. We provide them a sales script personalized to them and to their business. And we give them the education and we hold their hand throughout the entire process, not just creating their offering and forming their business, but also in how they market to that audience and grow their own network so that they're able to not just do a successful deal, but to stack deals on top of each other and to grow success over time.
That's really crazy. I mean, a lot of times we talk about historically Wall Street, but even like if you went to a lender, you're going to get dollars. If you go to an investor, you might get dollars and some mentorship, right? If you go to like a VC, you'll get maybe hopefully some mentorship from them as well. Shark Tank style, you might get some mentorship with a big name celebrity or something. But what you're talking about is not just like, here's the money, run and go figure it out. It's, we're going to partner you with the right people. We're going to get you the resources, the tools you need. We're going to help you build your community, everything from website marketing. It's like literally the whole idea is we're not going to leave any stone unturned, right? We're going to do everything we can to make sure that you're successful and do the best that we can. There's no guarantee, but you're giving them a recipe for success. And that's something that I think absolutely is unique. And so can you actually share a success story, if anything comes to mind, of someone that, they came to you, and how did those resources, those tools, aside from the money itself, the capital, but how has that pushed someone further along?
Yeah, absolutely. So you brought up a good point. It's not the money that makes the difference, although it certainly does help, right? But you take a pile of cash and you set it on the floor. A year from now, it's still going to be sitting there. The money itself isn't what built the business. It's the people, and the people have to be empowered, not just with the capital, but also with the knowledge and the mentorship and the guidance, right? So the best example is really us ourselves. We've raised 20 million over the last year, and we serve as the ultimate example because everything that we teach and the framework that we walk people through and the path that we guide them on is truly the exact path that I followed to build this business and the path that we've created and laid out for ourselves. So the method absolutely works. And in the normal Wall Street, the normal VC, the traditional finance path, you've got somebody else's business being crammed with somebody else's money, and Wall Street's taking a huge chunk out of the middle for themselves, right?
Right.
Well, that puts more pressure on the remaining capital to go to work and to create a return for the total investment, right? So if there's less dollars left to go to work, it's harder on that capital and it's harder on the entrepreneur to create that return. Whereas our model is all of the money goes to work, as I said, to purchase an asset or improve it. If there's no money being taken out of the middle and there's no money taken off the top for organizers' salaries or administrative overhead, all the money is going to work, which means it takes the pressure off the capital. It leaves more to generate an investor return, which means that theoretically you're producing higher investor returns. It means that you're more likely to have a successful deal. There's more money left to go to work to building the business itself. And that's the key, right? If we're going to set people up with the best chance of success, like you mentioned, that's how we get there and how we do it.
A big part of it is the community side of it. Like personally, for me as an entrepreneur, one thing I've always really thrived in is mastermind groups. I just love being around other people who've either done it, that are a couple steps further ahead than I am, or there's people who are reaching out to me like, hey, you're where I want to be, in a couple of years. And so I'm literally just starting, and you've been doing this for a handful of years. So what are some things that I can do to expedite the process? But you don't want to just leapfrog steps. There's certain things that you do have to do to build a solid foundation for your business.
And it's the team that you build around yourself that's so key. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten here today without the participation and support of other individuals and my partners along the way. And my mentor that helped me get here, what was really critical and key to giving me the knowledge of what had to be done and what that process needed to be. So in that same manner, we create partnerships within our community and encourage people to truly find that partner that's ideal for them, right? I started out as a computer nerd with no experience in finance, no experience in Wall Street, just an entrepreneurial spirit, right? But you take that and you partner up with someone that knows traditional finance, and now you've got a workable team that can actually create something. So what we do in our community is we have a matchmaker hub where people can go and find that ideal partner and find the people. And it's not just education, but it's the right resources to come together. And maybe you're not comfortable selling, but you're happy to put in the sweat equity to do a fix and flip, or maybe you're great at selling, but you need somebody with experience in real estate. That right partner is going to be different from everyone, but it truly is key to creating success.
Yeah, and I've seen what you guys have built. I know you have a brand new website that's out and live as people are watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Apple or Spotify. All the resources, every which way that they can connect with Planet Wealth is in the show notes. So I have everything clickable for you, Lance.
Excellent.
But there's just so much going on with Planet Wealth. There's a lot of different resources that you've talked about. Is there anything we didn't talk about yet that you're like, man, this is just something that you're so excited about, you're just jazzed up about, that you feel you offer that the world really needs to know about?
Yeah, so I think the key to our methodology isn't just, hey, here's some education, go learn, and here's some tools, go figure it out. It's really the hand holding and the guidance every step of the way. So we do what we call challenge presentations, and it's where people come in and they make a promise to themselves that they're going to make a difference and create something to help themselves and help those around them and progress on that financial journey and work towards their financial independence, however they choose to define that, right? So, and ultimately they come and partner with us, and we dedicate the time and hand holding and resources to walking them through every individual step, holding their hand, getting them through it, working together side by side to help them create the success that they need. And that's the key. It's not the technology, and honestly, it's not even the money. It's having the support, the team, the infrastructure around you, and putting it all together that makes the difference.
Yeah, the people you work with, the people surrounding you, like you said, the people on the Planet Wealth team, many of them I know now. Many of them I'm working closely with producing the show. And you got a great team in place, which is why it's been a success so far, and why I'm really excited to produce this podcast, because there's going to be a lot of great guests. I know you've already done some of the interviews, and that's what I'm excited about, to see how many amazing people are going to come through the Planet Wealth ecosystem through the podcast as well. One of the questions that we're excited about with your guests is, one of those last questions is an anecdote or a story or something that might be entertaining about the guest that people don't know. So since you're kind of our guest today, Lance, I'm going to ask you, what's something that we might find entertaining about you that maybe we don't know already?
Now, you always hear that if you really want to create success, you've got to push through and power through and just make it happen. And whenever we founded the company, I was living in Arkansas. I was working up and down the East Coast. I was driving back and forth every week. I was also working another overseas job, basically doing everything I could to leverage my time as much as possible, to leverage geographic arbitrage and to do everything. And then I stacked this company on top, and it was just an insane several years. But the truth of it is do whatever it takes, whatever that challenge looks like for you. Everybody starts out in a different place. Everyone has a different set of challenges that they're going to have to work through, but make that promise to yourself that you'll do whatever it takes and just keep pushing, because if you don't give up, you'll get there. Just keep going.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at any of the greats, whether it's, I'm a big sports fan. I don't know if anything on my table here gave that away, but anything you do, business, sports, right? Relationships, family. Like, if you don't give up, the people that are at the top, the highest level, the MVPs of the sports, the business people who have multiple successful businesses, the reason they got there is because they never gave up. Had any of them given up at any point, and failure over failure over failure,
Absolutely.
they're not going to get to where they're at. Because the truth is, we see the shiny image, the social media, the Instagram post. Typically, sometimes people will be more vulnerable and tend to actually get more, people really connect more when you're more vulnerable, which is actually a beautiful thing on social media, where people get to kind of see behind those barriers. But my point in this is, like, just to piggyback on what you said there, to be where you really want to get in life, the number one thing to do is just to never give up and to continually bet on yourself, right? But the other big takeaway for me, Lance, is, again, the people piece of Planet Wealth, getting around the right people. And here's the thing. A new entrepreneur is not going to know who those people are or where they can find them. One thing you said that's super exciting is you have a matchmaker system in place, an ecosystem in place. So, they might not even know who the good match is, but that's what you and your team are going to do. Other thing I want to say is just a shout out to the entire team, to Sharon, to Granite, to Todd, to Joelle, to yourself, and just all the great people I met on Planet Wealth. You do have a great team behind you. And so I'm just really excited about what the show is going to be in the multiple episodes we already have releasing into the new year. Is there anything you're excited about in the new year? Maybe we talked about Planet Wealth, but also aside from business, you got any goals or anything exciting? I can tell that it looks like you lost a little bit of weight. So what are you doing? What's the secret?
Yeah, no, I purchased a bike, and so Bentonville's a mountain bike outdoor town. I never was a quote unquote biker, but I picked it up. I'm really enjoying it, and it's been feeling the wind in my hair that I've not been on a bike since I was a kid. It's pretty phenomenal. It's cool. It's been fun. I broke a finger. I did put the bike over the front, rolled
No
it,
way.
and so it's been a learning experience, right? And
Where were you when that happened?
So physics says that if you use the front brake too much when you're going too fast and downhill, you've got a little bit of momentum in that. So
you were on pavement though. Was it like mountain terrain, or was it like
no?
sidewalk?
I was in town. I was in town going down a parking garage of all things, right? And I went flipped front head over front of the bike. I did finger first landing, and
I guess
it
it
was
could have
what
been
it was,
worse,
but
right? I guess
absolutely.
It I'm going to say this, guys, to everyone who's tuning in. Thank you for being with us all the way, hanging out to the end. And I can attest, when I was in Bentonville, when was that? In July? Your bike was parked right outside your office in the hallway with the stairs, and we walked past it every day. And so he actually does use the bike. It's not one of those things where he says he's going to do it. You got the results there. You're feeling good. You're looking good. But yeah, I can definitely attest that he's got the battle scars now too.
Absolutely.
Busted finger. So shout out to the whole team over there. Is there anything else you want to say to our audience before we sign off?
Guys, just make the commitment to start doing the work, whatever it's going to take. That'll get you farther than anything else. And I look forward to you being on the journey with us. Come participate. There is a place for you on Planet Wealth. Whatever your interest is, find something, make tangible progress towards it. Set your goal. Don't give up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And I look forward to being on that journey with you.
Where would you recommend they go first? Right to planetwealth.com?
Check out planetwealth.com. We'll walk you through our system. You'll see our webinars. You'll see our challenges. You'll see our socials on how to interact with us. And we're here to serve our audience, because if we can do that, everything else falls in place.
That's right. Well, cheers again to the launch, man. Really excited to be working with you. And let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
Sounds good. Fantastic.
Let's remind everybody to obviously like this. They can subscribe, and then they'll be notified with the latest and greatest. And Lance is going to give you a little bit more information on that. But if you guys really like what you got going on here, like, comment, subscribe, and we really appreciate you being part of the Planet Wealth family.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Planet Wealth Fortunes of the Brave, check out our other videos for more insights and strategies to elevate your financial freedom. You can subscribe right here and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Join our community and take your financial future to the next level. I'll see you in the next video.